What's going on, geeks and gamers? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and welcome to Gaming with Geeks. We have some huge, stunning news about The Last of Us Part 2. Now, things have been rumored about this game for a while that made a couple people hesitant about the potential plot in the storyline of where it may be going. But this that just leaked is absolutely crazy. The destruction of several characters that people are very attached to, and it doesn't look good for Naughty Dog Studios in the reaction to these leaks. Now, I will give you guys a warning before we go specifically into spoilers. Don't worry about that, but I want to break down exactly what happened. Evidently, there was a developer who was not happy. There was a pay dispute between him and the studio, and this developer leaked a ton of stuff online, including videos, screenshots, stories, like exactly what was going down about The Last of Us Part 2. Naughty Dog did their best to try to take everything down they could see, but in this current age, if something leaks out, it's going to be on the internet. So they've struck a lot of videos down, but they couldn't stop it. Naughty Dog just put out this statement basically saying they've given up. We know the last few days have been increasingly difficult for you. We feel the same. It's disappointing to see the release and sharing of pre-release footage from development. Do your best to avoid spoilers, and we ask that you don't spoil it for others. Last of Us Part 2 will be in your hands soon. No matter what you see and hear, the final experience will be worth it. Well, a lot of us have doubts about that now, about it being worth it. Now, some of you may remember in the lead up to this, we heard rumors that basically there was going to be this cult that was essentially the antagonists of this story. This was going to be centered around some homophobic cult that a lot of people were like, wow, why? It seems like they're pushing a lot of identity politics into this story. Evidently, there was going to be a lot of lesbian scenes and things like that. That some people didn't want necessarily in their video games, for the video game to be focused so heavily on that. But these plots could be like the Last Jedi of The Last of Us. That's what a lot of people are saying. So, with that being said, we are going to get into spoilers. So if you don't want to know these leaks, I would say go ahead and tune into something else now, because we're about to get into it. So here we go. The Last of Us Part 2 spoiler videos leak online. This first part here is a lot of them talking about, hey, if you don't want to see this, then don't watch it below. But let's get into it. The Last of Us Part 2 spoilers were reportedly from a disgruntled employee over a payment dispute with Naughty Dog. When things didn't go their way, bam, major plot spoilers got leaked. Some really angry, tired, and fed up people working at Naughty Dog. I think we could see this coming, sadly. Now, let's go down and see all of this. Now, these are a bunch of spoiler videos. We're not going to play the videos because a lot of them are getting taken down on YouTube, and we don't want to do that. But we will go over everything here. Major spoiler stories for The Last of Us Part 2 have been uncovered following a recent leak. If you don't want to be spoiled, leave this thread immediately. What we know. Now, all of this we're going to talk about is confirmed. There's going to be a second one we read that isn't quite confirmed, but basically all of it is accepted to be true with one thing different. You play the first half of the game as Ellie and the second half as Abby, the character featured in the PGW 2017 trailer played by Laura Bailey. Now, Abby, this is a screenshot of Abby right here. There's a lot of speculation about Abby potentially and her gender identity. I'm not going to specifically get into those, but you are free to speculate yourself. Not quite sure, but you will play half the game as Abby and half the game as Ellie. The leaked level list divides the game's levels between Ellie's levels and Abby's levels. The game has you fighting Ellie from the perspective of Abby at one point in time, and that is also true when you see some of those leaked videos. There's a character named Dina who's pregnant with Jesse's baby. Her and Ellie are trying to start a family. Again, a lot of what was confirmed, where there was some there was a lot of sexual scenes involved in these leaked videos, including between Dinah and Ellie. Can't post it here, but just believe me, I've seen it myself, and those are out there. This is the one right here, the first thing that really is shocking people and that's really pissing a lot of people off. Joel dies at the hands of Abby. So if you did play The Last of Us, you know that so much of that game was all about Joel and everything that Joel has kind of done to survive and all the things he had to do, and that he ends up teaming up with Ellie and they go forward. And that's the story of The Last of Us, right? Joel dies, gets beat to death with a golf club by Abby. There's a scene early on in the game. Early on in the game, this isn't at the end or anything. This is early on in the game. You see Joel get killed by Abby. Joel gets his skull caved in by Abby with a golf club. Later on, a scene between Ellie and Dinah takes place where Dinah explicitly mentions Joel and Jesse both being dead. And here is her standing over Joel's body after she's beaten him. Again, I'll let you speculate on Abby's identity and all that stuff. This is the quotes right here. Dinah, so what? I'm just supposed to sit here and wait for you for God knows how long? Just think you're effing dead the entire time? Ellie, I don't plan on dying. Dinah, yeah, well, neither did Jesse or Joel. Again, Dinah is pregnant with Jesse's baby, but her and Ellie are trying to start a family. That's where this is going. The idea that this character that you end up playing as for half the game is destroying this character that people care so much about. It's no wonder that the voice actor for Joel came out and said that this is going to be a divisive game. You kill a character that a lot of people cares about. Now, the reasons that Abby kills Joel will be explained later on here, but that's the big news. Continue down. All these are screenshots, right? All these are screenshots leaked from this developer's videos. So there's Joel bloodied. There's Abby, I guess, with the golf club. There is Ellie over Joel's grave right here. Dang. Then at the end, Abby versus Ellie. So the two characters that you play as throughout this will have a face-off at the end. Now there has been conflicting reports of whether Ellie dies or not. One initial leak said that Ellie dies at the end at the hands of Abby, but another person said no, that's not true. They kind of just end up going their separate ways. But let's get into exactly the reason, like we said, that Abby kills Joel. So maybe this will provide justification for this character that you end up having to play with that is like a protagonist for you, killing a character that people care about so much. Let's see right here. Now this comes from this thread right here. One of the surgeons that Joel killed had a daughter named Abby. So if you remember, obviously Joel has done a lot of things to stay alive in this world after everything that happened. The Firefly Massacre destroyed her whole life, so she's been looking for revenge ever since. She knew who Ellie was because of her dad talking about their shot at a cure and figured out Joel from Firefly Records. The cult, so this is the cult that we're talking about, this homophobic cult, evidently. They attack Ellie's settlement, and she, Jesse, and Dinah are part of the group sent to track down and attack it. Jesse is killed during this. So this is how Abby and Ellie meet up, because they're both on the wrong side of this homophobic cult. Ellie is now violently angry and goes to Seattle looking for cult's home to help wipe it out. Meets Joel there, and she heard about Jesse and came back to help her. Abby finds Ellie because she's been in conflict with the cult too. So when Ellie hunts them to Seattle and is set to attack them with Joel and her group to find them and attack. She kills Joel herself, takes Ellie back to camp, debating what to do with her, since for all her hate, she doesn't blame her for the massacre. Ellie butchers her group to escape, and Abby is motivated to hunt her down. Second half of the game is spent as Abby chasing down Ellie. Ellie continues hunting the cult while you chase her down. Ending is Ellie and Abby fighting to the death. Now, this part right here has been basically proven wrong, with everything else kind of accepted to be a part of the plot. You kill Ellie as Abby, and she leaves while realizing she's not really won in any meaningful way, since all she's done to get more of her loved ones killed for the sake of killing Joel and then Ellie. The ending is a cycle of revenge, with the loose implication Ellie's friends will hunt Abby now in return. The reason I say that's kind of been disproven is because of right here. Okay, to everyone saying Abby kills Ellie, that doesn't happen. There was a brief 1-minute video of the fight, and I will just go and summarize this. Ellie and Abby are fighting in what looks to be a warehouse. Abby has the upper hand and punches Ellie repeatedly in the face, puts her in a chokehold before Dinah runs in and tackles Abby. She swings at Abby with a knife, cutting her arms pretty badly, and is about to kill her before she's shot in the shoulder with an arrow by Lev. Now, Lev is this character right here. When you play as Abby, Lev follows you around, kind of like Joel and Ellie in the Last of Us game. Now, again, these are screenshots from the Ellie-Abby fight. There is Ellie on the ground. There is Abby with the bleeding arms, with Dinah right there. Abby then gets on top of Dinah and forces her to the floor, repeatedly smashing her face until she's unconscious but not dead. Very brutal. As she does this, Ellie weakly begs Abby to stop, which you can see by the subtitles. Abby stops and holds Dinah up with her face with the knife to her neck, getting ready to slit her throat. But then Lev calls out to her, Lev like we just described, seemingly to try to convince her not to kill Dinah. It works, and she tosses Dinah aside before leaving with Lev. Ellie then weakly reaches out to the unconscious Dinah before she passes out too. That's where the video ends. So that doesn't exactly tell you, I guess, if who survives and who doesn't, but that is kind of what's accepted to be that video. It doesn't actually show Ellie dying in that video, but who knows, that may end up being true. That is everything we know, and obviously so many people are really upset by that. The fact that this, I guess, lesbian character, Abby, a lot of people are speculating that maybe not born female, right? Maybe she's trans. There's a lot of people speculating about that. I don't know. There's been no confirmation of that. That's just kind of what people are saying. But that this character kills off Joel, a character you get so attached to. Now, could those reasons be explained in the game? The fact that Joel apparently killed her parents? I suppose so. But at the end of the day, this leak has pissed a lot of people off because it's killing off a character that is appreciated and loved by a lot of people and replacing them with the character that kills them. That's the character you end up playing as. But pretty crazy everything that's going on. Obviously, Naughty Dog is catching a lot of flack for these plots and the fact of how they treated that developer, everything. There's a lot of blowback going on right now for Naughty Dog about The Last of Us Part 2, but I know it's a long video. We went over a lot of these leaks. Let me know what you guys think about them in the comments below. You're going to be able to experience for yourself if there's anyone left to actually buy this come June 19th, 2020. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Subscribe to Gaming with Geeks. Smash a like button. Share this video out there. Ring the bell for notifications, and I'll talk to you guys later.